All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another weekly session. Our Saturday usual sessions. Now, for this particular session, I want to focus majorly on something. By the way, I talked about the time price opportunity indicator, which is this one. I said I was going to teach you guys how to use the indicator, but then I think I'm going to have to move it to next week Saturday because there's something I noticed that I'm not comfortable with on the group, which I need to address first before we move on. Now, first of all, for me, I think this particular trading week, I don't even think I'm the only one. When it comes to currencies, there were a lot of good trades. There were a lot of good trades of currencies. I had I think just three setups this week, and then the AUD USD I didn't execute it, which is this one. I didn't execute it, just analyze and forgot our type our type B type of model, price swap liquidity gave us the inducement before breaking out, came back to mitigate and what continue to the upside, and still came back to what use the inducement level that I created at first as what we claim block to what put in a new high. So it was like two buy opportunities that I missed out on. And then the one I executed was the USD which is this one. Sorry, what did it was on this. It issue 3R, and then reverse back to my entry. Very crazy pair. And then I was stopped at break even here. And then what else again? I think I took one loss. Was it EUR or GBP or something? So we realized that by trading week, one loss, one break even, and then AUD USD that I missed out on. Which is to remind you that it won't always be as smooth. I think for the past I think this is like the last time I closed a trading week in loss should be I think the last week of January. But then ever since then I've had it's not like I'm not taking losses, but then at the end of the week you realize that I ended up with winning setups. All right, until this previous week that just passed, then back to having another losing week. I had one set of hit stop loss and then one set of hit go back to break even on me. So this is to tell you that it's not always be very linear. It's not like every week you must see setups. The reason why I'm trying to address this is that I go through the trades or the trade idea goes, and then there are some of them that I'm not comfortable with. I told you guys that I told you guys already, you don't always have to trade. There are times you won't see what is tradable, and that is very okay. There was somebody that sent a setup to my DM on Telegram. I don't even know who that is. The person said the setup to me and was like, "Oh, is this valid?" And then I looked at it and I'm like, "Who taught you this?" Because literally, who taught you this? I've told you, if you don't know how to recognize our type A and type B patterns, you can go through the winning trades. Look at what is working for people. You would definitely see something that you can adjust in yours. There are times that people send setups to me and then I'm like, it's more like you're not learning. And then even if you've learned, it's very okay for you to realize that um you don't always have to see trading setups. I think for like the past 4 weeks, we've been having type A and type B play out. When we were teaching entries, there were a lot of examples to teach with current week's price actions and all of that to teach with. And then this week that just passed, which is today is Saturday, so it's literally this week. This particular trading week, I saw only three trading setups, which is like let me even say two safe. I executed only two trading setups. But there are times whereby you see like six and then you'll be the one filtering down to the one that you want to trade. or okay, let me take this to the look of higher probability. Or you see like, and all of that. So every trading week must not be the same, but then your approach towards it is what is very important. I don't want you guys to get carried away with the thoughts of making money that you forget to protect the money that you already have. Because that's one thing that makes people get lost in trading. And that is one thing that keeps you in the game. Your longevity in this trading is only going to be assured by your capital. Forget about people telling you that capital is not a problem and all of that. Your knowledge is useless without capital. And that's how your capital is useless without knowledge. So you cannot have one over the other. You cannot decide to, okay, have capital and don't know how to trade, or know how to trade and not have capital. There's no difference between the two of you. Because at the end of the day, one is losing money and one is what? Not making money at all. So I want you guys to, whenever I've said it countless times that whenever you have a trading setup, look at it and ask yourself, this setup, is it worth risking money on? There are times I even have setup as old as I am. There are times I finish analyzing and I look at the setup and I'm like, this is a low probability setup. Let me reduce my risk. It happens to me too. So I want you to look at those things that you're executing. Before you execute, before you call this a trade idea, ask yourself, does this meet my type A requirements? Does this meet my type B requirements? Like, let it be a proper setup. I told you that every higher low in an uptrend is a demand zone. At the same time, every lower high in a downtrend is a supply zone. This is to say that there are abundance of supply and demand zones on the charts, which means there are abundance of losses to take when you're not careful of free trade. Because you will always, if you decide to force a trade opportunity today, you will always see something to force. Trust me. If you decide today that you don't see any trading pair that meets your criteria and you want to force trades, you will always see something to force because there are abundance of what supply and demand zones. So there's always opportunity for you to lose money. But at the end of the day, your ability to decide that, oh, you have an edge, right? A psychological edge. That is what keeps you in this game. As much as you want to make money, I want your focus to also be on keeping what you have. You want to make money, fine, but don't lose all that you have trying to make more. Capital preservation is very, very important when it comes to trading. Forget about those people that tell you risk it or go hard or go home and all of that. You're not sure of anything here. You can have a 70% win rate, but the 70% might not be back to back to back to back. Do you understand? It can be you get one now, you get two straight, the third one is a loss, the fourth one is a loss, the fifth, sixth, seventh wins, the eighth one is a loss. It can be spread randomly. You don't know which trade is going to play out or which is not going to play out. But at the end of the day, it will be that okay, in 10 trades, you're going to register 7 wins. But you don't know how they're going to be spread between. So imagine going hard on the using setup or putting all that you have on a particular setup. And you understand? And then that's not just the only thing. My major concern now is the fact that some of you are still not. There was a guy that I replied to on the losing trade. I just looked at that setup and I'm like, why won't it be a losing setup? That was not even a setup to start with. There are times where you analyze something and then you probably post it and I'll be like, who taught you all of this? Because really, who taught you all of this? There's no pressure to execute. I keep saying this is a group of like 700 people, which on the average, let me say like 200 people are active, right? So if you take a look, there will be people that know more than you, and there will be people that you know more than. There are people that are ahead of you, there are people that you are ahead of. So at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, people are going to pressure you. Let me put it like that. And there are people that you will pressure. So you need to try your best to make sure that you don't let these things get to you. Go at your own pace. You don't have to start executing because someone else is executing. Before any of you should even execute, let it be that you can boast of trades on the winning setup group. Let it be that you make your own analysis, right? Your own analysis and it hits take profit. Be sure of your win rate before you fund your account. I don't know why people are like in haste to fund accounts, like fund account, fund account, fund account. You might even be blowing those accounts and what you're still funding and funding again. What are you looking for? What are you looking for? You need to pause. It was in February. Was it February or the March? It was March. Now this is May. 2 months ago was March. Nelson, one of my best students, by the way, he reached out to me and he was like, "Oh, his 60K account is now in drawdown." And then it was not just drawdown; it was like an 8% drawdown to start with. One of my most profitable students. I can boldly say that Nelson is one very profitable. And then that particular month of March was hell. Loss, 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 loss. He kept executing until he entered an 8% drawdown. And then when he reached out to me, he was like, "Oh, yeah, the account is not 8% drawdown. Look at what is happening. Look at what is happening." When it comes to analysis, Nelson is very good, like very, very good that he can counter most of what you say as a trader, and then you would listen to him. Do you understand? This is somebody that has what a good track record, a winning track record, a winning strategy. But then every good trader still have what bad weeks. And that happened to be what he is in the month of March. And then I talked to him, I said, you have to pause. Forget about executing this trade in this particular account, right? Pause. Calm down and go back to study. Every course that I've ever had in my life, every single course that I've taught as a person, whether I was invited to talk or it was mine, right? Like my private students, they always have access to the recordings. You know, there are people that when they are done teaching you, they delete the classes like 1 month after, 2 months after for fear of people leaking and all of that, which is very valid. But then I make sure that every course that I teach, you have access to it because you would always need to go back. You would always need to go back. That was the same thing I told him. I said, stop and then was go back again. See where you're missing out. At the end of the day, the market is evolving. There are things you notice when you're studying. You just think it's execution, execution, execution. But at the end of the day, you need to back test. You need to forward test. You need to study. You need to look out for pairs. There are times whereby in a trading week, I think I didn't see any trading opportunity. But then when I look at every pair on the Forex watch list, you can see my watch list here now. I have specific pairs that I look out for in a week. And then these are all the pairs when it comes to currency trading, right? Except that I don't trade some of the Russian pairs, right? But then these are like all of the major pairs when it comes to what currency trading. And then these two from indices. So if you look at all of them, you will realize that oh, there were some things that you even missed out on. I told you it's very good to go back to studying. You can't shortcut your way over here. It's really almost impossible. You would need to put in a lot of work to get take profit targets. This is not to pressure you, but this is me to reminding you that what it is what they have access to that you also have access to. They're not doing anything different. Go through the winning setups group. I don't think there's anything new there. Is it trend line that they do that you don't know what trend line is? Is it demand zone? Is it supply zone? Is it type A or type B? Is it break of that you don't know? When you go through the winning setup groups, you realize that what it's still the same thing you know that they're doing. So why are you not doing it? That becomes what a cause for concern. You need to study. You can't rely on people dropping point of interest every minute. setup, start job this, start job that. I won't always be there. This is like a 1 year mentorship. In the next 3 years, most of you may not even still have access to me. Or most of you may not even know me. What if I change my number or you change your number or something happens? Access can always be cut at any time. And that is why you need to be independent. Right? You need to be independent. As much as, okay, yes, I can go to the ideas to assist you, but you as a trader, can you say that without signal, without push and push from all of this? Can you say that if you decide to ghost everybody today, that you're still what's profitable? If the answer is no, then you have a lot of work to work on. You have a lot of work to still do as a person. And I don't want your one losing week to what discourage some of you that are doing the right thing. If you know that your setups are among those ones that are always making me sad, please, this is not for you. For those of you that you're doing the right thing, and then you notice that, okay, like there was a particular trade. I can't remember the trade that I was on last week. I was on a particular trade last week. I can't remember exactly. But then this trade, like it took time, like from Monday to Friday before you need to take profit target. You can have trades as slow as that. You can close out on trades too early. My NZD and my AUR JPY, that happened to me. All right, you can have your trades hit take profits very fast. Like AURGB was what one candlestick, right? Things like that can happen. The outcomes are what very, very random. And that is why I talked about for you to be able to survive, to know what will happen next, depends on what capital. There are a lot of you that when you fund $100 now, today, you decide to take out $100 to fund an account, and you blow that $100. For the next 2-3 weeks, you would only have setups without execution. So when you know that, you see people that all of you on the sample group are not equal at the end of the day. There are people there that have money to fund over and over again. But you know where you're coming from. And you know that this is all you have anyway. You need to be extra careful with it. I need you guys to be very, very particular and picky. You see the way you pick people that are around you. That is how you pick the trades that you take. Let them be very solid trade. It is very okay to go 1 week without seeing a good trade, without trading. I told you, it happens. It happens. It's just maybe impossible to go 3 weeks without a trade, right? Depending on what you trade. But then 1 week happens. So I want you to, let's not be that when you don't see trades, you think that something is wrong with you, you start looking for what to and all of that. The moment you start allowing yourself to take unnecessary losses, it messes your psychology up that even when the good trade comes, you won't be able to execute anymore. Look at what your mates are doing. If you don't know how to study, let me tell you something that you can do. If you go to the videos that we did on entries, right? The videos that we did on entries, I think most of the videos had good examples on them, which means that some of you can schematic diagram of type A and type B entries. Have the diagrams set down somewhere. All right. And each time that you have a setup, ask yourself, does this setup meet this? And it's not just about being able to recognize the pattern. The most important thing about pattern is what the narrative behind them. Let's be that pattern you're drawing, it is being validated on the higher time frame. You understand? It is being validated on the higher time frame. And then if you're not seeing anything, go to the winning trade setup. That is why this particular subtopics are there. It is for you as well. Go to what your mates are dropping and then study it. The people that hit take profits last week, they don't have two heads. Even me personally, I told you last week I took 2 trades, 1 break even and 1 stop loss. I went through the winning trades to see what people took that I did not see to take. That was when I saw that I had this AUD USD map thoughts. I saw somebody take this AUD USD and I went back to check and I saw that mine had already hit take profits, but then I didn't execute it because I was taking USD CHF. So it happens as well. But then when you go to what people are doing, you study it. That's how you learn. I told you, studying it reinforces. There's nothing bad in going back to market structure, the video market structure, demand and supply zones, and all of that to make sure that you're marking your demand and supply zones properly, or to make sure that you're marking your entry models properly or anything. There's nothing bad in going through these things again and again. The people that you see, that you admire, all they do is what puts in the work. There's nobody that got here without putting in extra work. And you have all that you need. The proof that you have all that you need is that there are people on the group, so many people that it's working for. So when it's not working for you, you need to find out why. I told you that if you're registering too many losses, you can always reach out to me. There's a guy, I don't know what his name is, Emerald, right? Emerald, I think the guy trades only cryptocurrency. And then he reached out to me, was like, oh, star, you talked about when I'm having multiple losses, I can always reach out. And I said yes. And then he was like, oh, okay, that he has registered like I think five of this, was it 4 or 5 losses? And I told him, okay, here's what's going to happen. Send all your trades to me before you execute it. The guy can confirm. Emerald, is that your name? I think that's what I said when you on WhatsApp. I don't know if that's your actual name. He trades strictly crypto. And then I asked him to send me the setup before he executes it. That particular week, he sent me 4 setups, and the 4 of them hit take profit target. The 4 of them that he sent that week, he can confirm if I'm lying or not. Hit what take profit target. Minor corrections here and there. Some of you know what you're doing. You just need a little guidance, and you just need to what, call yourself to order. I need you to, as much as possible, focus on what capital preservation. Forget about chasing trades. Forget about FOMO. Forget about like those I don't want to mention names, but then when NAS 100 was selling and then he came, he was like, oh, this NAS 100 was 1/6 that I had on it. But then he already triggered before I found out. I don't know if I should enter now. If I enter now, it will be 1/3. And I'm like, a trade that has already triggered up to what's the use? There will always be a bonus of setup. I started trading in 2021. This is 2025. October this year should make it 4 years. And then even next 4 years, they will still reward trading. There's still time. There's still time. So just focus on what using as much time as you want to lay your foundation. By the time you're solid, analysis-wise, psychology-wise, all of the time that you spent trying to solidify your ground will even count to you. I keep saying it a lot of times. I went offline throughout 2022 because I was scattered. I think that's the best way to put it. When I came back in 2023, I was having a lot of popping crazy wins. I was having a lot of popping views. I had a lot of pop accounts and all of that. 2024, which is last year, I went offline for the first 6 months of last year. And then when I came back online, it was because I was confident that I was, so there are times where you have blackouts. But then the most important thing is how you're studying to recover what you're doing. And like I keep saying, and I want to keep saying, your money is too expensive for you to waste it on just any setup. Anything you're having, anything you're executing should be something that has met all of the criteria. I don't want to be seeing those setups that look like you want to set yourself up on those trade idea groups. Anything you're dropping, ask yourself, is this what Star taught me? Just call yourself to order and ask yourself, is this what Star taught me? Not just mapping out any random supply zone or any random demand zone and just sending it to the group that you want to buy yourself from there. You can be lucky once, you can be lucky twice, even 3 times. But at the end of the day, profitability is not by 1 or 2 take profit targets. It's by consistent wins. You have to be consistently winning for you to say that you're profitable. It's not by having 3 trades on the winning set of sub-profit. It's being able to do it over and over and over again. And if you're not able to do it over and over and over again, you're not profitable yet, which means that you still have a lot of work to do. Okay? So focus on capital preservation. Don't just throw your money in the setup. The guy, who was that, sir? That made $150 from, I think it was the standby or something like that. And then the next day he came, he was like, oh, on one particular setup he had lost what? $72. Imagine 1/5 gave you $150, and then one stop loss is taking $72 out of that $150. Poor risk gain. There are a lot of things, like a lot of things that can contribute to you being a failure when it comes to trading. And even like you can be very good at analyzing, understanding people's analysis. If somebody asks a question now trading wise, you have the answer, but then you check you're not making money because it's deeper than just technicals. Your psychology is very important. Your risk game is very important. When you have winning setups, you're making 300, but then one losing setup, you're losing 1,000. Something is wrong. Something is what's very wrong. I don't want you to make money and lose it back to the market. You won't go like that. You won't go like that. If you're always making and losing back, then to what point? To make sure that at the end of the day, what your capital is still intact or almost intact. Capital preservation is the only thing that assures you longevity in this game of trading. As much as you want to make, I want you to protect what you already have. Let it be that when you're losing money, you're losing it on what? Just quality setups. I told you, the moment you second guess a setup, leave it to be. You would see many more that you think, okay, are very good. Even if it's not this week, next week you would see it again. Do you understand? But the only reason why you would be able to go again next week is that you have what money to go again next week. But the moment you carelessly lose what you have, you definitely know how to execute it next week. So I want you guys to work on these things this current week. Some of you are executing already, which means you're already making money from trading already. As you're making, make sure that it is being sustained. For those of you that are already passing your top accounts, payouts will start coming back. As those payouts are coming, get it into something else. Yeah, I was my very first payout was like $3,000, I think. It was like 3,000, let's say around 72 or 76 on top of it. The fact that time, as 2023, I think dollar rate was like 500 or 600. No, it was like 600, 700 sharp. Because I remember that like $1,500 then. I sold $1,500 for 1.1 million naira. So I can't remember how much it was, but then my first payout was $3,076, and then I carried $1,500 then, which was 1 million naira, to go and buy land. I'm telling you, carried it to go and buy land. That was my first ever plot of land, like ever in my life. That was the first time I was getting something. So when you start making money like this, you can start from anywhere, just something to secure the money. You can get anything to tie it down. But I don't want you making money and not losing it back or losing money unnecessarily. Of course, this trading is a game of probabilities, which means that you won't always be right. But when you're wrong, you shouldn't be losing more than you make when you're right. Because at that point, it's no longer trading, it's gambling. So this new week, focus on just high quality setups. If you don't see high quality setups this week, you go again next week. It happens. It's not just you. It happens. I told you this particular trading week now. This is my first time in so many months that I'm closing a week in actual loss. I can take losses in between, but at the end of the day, I end up profitable. But this week, no take profit targets, but just $1 someone break even. This is the break even on USD CHF. I think I showed that, right? So I'm just trying to tell you that what it happens, but you should do what's making, I've been losing more than you make. That is no longer profitability. All right. At that point, that is what no longer profitability. So this new week, I want you to what, focus on just high quality setups only, just high quality setups, and then look at what your mates are saying. Contribute. A lot of people, a lot of you may not always have the time to go through all of the pairs. Some of you are students, like me now. Every day I have to be in school by 8. I have to leave school by 6 or by 4, by 5 usually, but then it's towards evening, all right, when the lecture is done. And then you would think, okay, what time do you have in between to look at this pairs and all of that? So you may not always have the time to go through the pairs. Some of you even go to work. There are people that go to work. There are people that are busy. And I think my doctor is here as well. All right. When I went to do my full body test yesterday, I got into his office and then he was on chat and he's like, oh, there's no patient inside. So he just decided to look at the chat to see if you can see any setup. In between those free times, you can just skim through what you can. If you can't, look at what people are doing, what other people are seeing as well. Do you understand? That can direct you to something that you can trade that day. Go to the chat and discussion group. What are people talking about? You contribute. All of you can come to a conclusion that okay, this is what's something tradable that we can take a bet on. Look at the trade idea group. You see something that someone drops, and then you go back. Oh, okay, bro, I think that this is supposed to be done like this. And then either of you correct yourself and you reach what the conclusion that this is what tradable. That is a trade setup. I told you, at the end of the day, this is a community. And the most beautiful part of a community is the fact that what you get to learn from others get to learn from you, and all of you get to learn. Even my private students, they pay me individually. They paid me individually, sorry, but then every one of them are in one group, like a star. Like a star was not a general class like some police. Everybody, they are private students. So by the way, they are all private students, but then they have a group because I keep emphasizing on the importance of community. It is very important. And that is the advantage that you guys have here as a general class. You get to what? Have others. There are always people better than you here. Then you get to learn from what people better than you. People that you're better than get to learn from you. At the end of the day, what everybody grows. The left hand watches the right hand, the right hand watches the left hand. Both of them are what? Clean. So I want you guys this week, please focus on better setups. I don't want to see setups that look like you're trying to set people up on the trade idea groups or something, or the losing trade. All right. I think from subsequent weeks, after we treat the time price opportunity this new week, that's this particular indicator. That's what we're going to take this Saturday unfailingly. After we do that, I think from subsequent weeks, in addition to whatever we're going to be doing, we're going to start reviewing trades on the losing trade setup. On the losing trade subtopic, all right? We'll just be going through some of the losses that we're taking, some of the winning setups that we're taking, and look at to make it more educational and look at what was done, what could have been done. Sometimes nothing could have been done, by the way, but then just to look at our review and learn together. All right. So I wish you guys a very proper new week, a better trading week, by the way. And I'm going to be, I should be more active than I was last week because I'm back to school now. I should be more active than I was last week on the group. So if you have any questions at any time, you can always tag me to it and I'll do it to answer when I can, which I would always make out time for at every point. This was just more like a talk session, but then the recording will be just to anytime that Stan is back. But then I beg you guys to please listen to me and all that I have to say. Right? If for one thing, I know that to a very good extent, for the past 3 years of trading, I've been evolving, right? I've been evolving. I've not had what a better previous year. So at least I know that I have something to say that you should listen to. So if I say do it like this, just try to do it like that first before what? Before you try any other thing. Because at the end of the day, you paid me to guide you. All right? You paid me to guide you. So whether you like it or not, you should be what? Guided. So please forget about the whole pressure of making $60, making $80, making $20, making $15 if you don't have a sustainable win rate yet. Focus on study, focus on the process. All of these things will come when it's time. Some of you will feel it crazily. Just know what you're doing first. Just you see when people tell you to focus on the process, that the results will what align. It is very true. It is what very true. So I want you to don't be scared of studying. Don't be scared of going through things that you should learn from over and over again. That is what how you learn. I keep saying that repetition is what reinforcement. When you watch something repeatedly, when you say something repeatedly, that is you what reinforcing it. I don't want to go deep into surface and deep lexicon, but you know that when you keep saying something from your deep lexicon, what happens? Your brain registers what your surface lexicon. That is how you learn. So if it means you going over the course again, do it. Right? Take a pause and what? Do it. So I wish you guys a happy trading week. I'll see you guys on Saturday. Saturday's class is very important, please. We're taking a time price opportunity indicator from the order flow catalog. And then probably I may talk on the VWAP session and maybe footprint as confirmation. So I need you guys to be there on Saturday. If you have any questions, any concerns, any complaints that you want me to know, you can always reach out to me, tag me on the group in the respective subtopics. Remember your winning trade setup should be job words. In the winning trade subtopic, your achievements subtopic, your losing trade subtopic, chat and discussions to what meet and learn with your other classmates and every other thing. Questions subtopic. If at any point I'm not replying, just tag me to it so that my attention can be drawn to it. I'll see you guys again next week, Saturday, 9 p.m. Until then, please do take care of yourselves.